Hello everyone. Today we will study the topic moderation of temperature by water. See, water can moderate air temperature by absorbing heat from the air that is warmer. If I say air is warmer, water will absorb heat. What water will do? It will absorb heat. If I say air is cooler, then what will do? What water will do? It will release the stored heat. Release the stored heat. So the water can moderate air temperature. Water is effective as a heat bank. It is a heat bank because it can absorb or release a huge amount of heat with only a slight change in its own temperature. So before this we should study what is heat, what is temperature. So let's study them. And before that we should know that anything that moves is having kinetic energy. Anything that moves has kinetic energy. And this is the energy of motion. Energy of motion. So if I say atom and molecules, they also have kinetic energy because they are always moving. So atoms and molecules, they definitely have kinetic energy. They are always moving. And the faster the molecule moves, the greater will be its kinetic energy. Now if I say what is thermal energy? Nothing but kinetic energy associated with random movement of atoms and molecules. So what is this? Kinetic energy associated with random movement of atoms or molecules. Atoms or molecules. This is thermal energy. Now, there is difference between thermal energy and temperature. Temperature is average kinetic energy. If I say a body of matter, so average kinetic energy of molecules in a body of matter, for example a bucket of water, a swimming pool, whatever, right? So the average kinetic energy of molecules in a body of matter is temperature. But if I say thermal energy, that is total amount of energy. Clear? So total kinetic energy is different. When I say water is heated in a pan or coffee maker, what will happen? The average speed of molecule will increase. Clear? So average speed of molecule increases, so what will increase? Temperature will increase. So average kinetic energy is increasing, temperature increases. Now if I say water in swimming pool, that will have much more thermal energy. But because its volume is more. Clear? So total energy is thermal energy. Clear? And it depends on volume. Temperature is like average kinetic energy. Okay. Now if I say what is heat? See, when there are two objects, one of lesser temperature as compared to other, for example ice, this is cold and it is kept in hot water. So what will happen? Ice will melt. How does the ice melt? It has taken up the heat from the warm water. Actually it has taken up the thermal energy from the hot water. So this transfer is heat. Clear? Heat flows from hot object to cold object. Clear? So if I say when two objects of different temperature are brought together, the thermal energy will pass from warmer to the cooler object. Here you can see what is transferred, thermal energy. So ice is absorbing heat and melts, cooling the water. And this thermal energy will pass till the two things are at the same temperature. The molecules in cooler object will speed up. Clear? At the expense of the thermal energy of warmer object. So what is heat? If I say heat, nothing but thermal energy in transfer from one body of matter to another. Thermal energy in transfer from one body of matter to another. Clear? Now, one unit we know is calories. Clear? So, 1 calorie is the amount of heat that it takes to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree centigrade. So, if we say what is calorie, amount of heat it takes to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree centigrade. Right? Now, amount of heat that 1 gram of water releases when it cools by 1 degree centigrade, that is also a calorie. So, we can also say that amount of heat 1 gram of water releases when it cools by 1 degree centigrade. So, both definitions are correct. Amount of heat that it takes to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree centigrade, or amount of heat that 1 gram of water releases when it cools by 1 degree centigrade, both are calorie. Okay. And if I say kilocalorie, then it will be 1 kilogram of water, not 1 gram of water. Clear? Then we know that in food packets, calorie word is written. Actually, that is kilocalories, not calories. Then what I say? Joule. So, 1 joule is equal to 0.239 calories. Or if I say 1 calorie, it is equal to 4.184 joule. Okay. Here you can say faster the motion, higher is the temperature, and more is the volume, more is the thermal energy. Clear? Okay. Now if I say water's high specific heat. Water has high specific heat. So the ability of water to stabilize temperature is because of its high specific heat. So what is specific heat? The amount of heat that is required to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of a substance by 1 degree centigrade. So, or the amount of heat that is lost for 1 gram of that substance to change its temperature by 1 degree centigrade. Clear? So, we can say this is not a good definition. The good definition should be like the amount of heat that must be absorbed or lost for 1 gram of a substance, of that substance, to change its temperature by 1 degree centigrade. And what is this? Specific heat. Clear? Now we already know that water specific heat, because the calorie is 1 calorie is amount of heat that causes 1 gram of water to change its temperature by 1 degree centigrade. So specific heat of water, if I say specific heat of water, specific heat of water, definitely that is 1 calorie. Clear? Now 1 calorie per gram per degree Celsius. Clear? So 1 calorie per gram per degree Celsius is the specific heat of water. Now compared to other substances, the specific heat of water is very high. If I say ethyl alcohol, it has just 0.6 per 0.6 calories per gram per degree Celsius. Now it is because of the high specific heat of water that water changes its temperature less than other liquids when it absorbs or loses a given amount of heat. Suppose you heat water inside this pan, this metal pan, and you by mistake you touch this pan, and this pan is very hot, but the water inside is still not that hot, all thanks to the high specific heat of water. The pan heats very fast as compared to the water. Specific heat of, suppose this is iron pan, so specific heat of iron is much lower as compared to the specific heat of water. Clear? So if I say water, its specific heat is almost 10 times greater than that of iron. Clear? So we can say that specific heat is a measure of how well a substance resists changing its temperature when it absorbs or releases heat. Okay, now what is the real reason behind the high specific heat of water? Hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding. This is the one that contributes to the high specific heat of water. See, to break the hydrogen bonds, heat must be absorbed, and when hydrogen bonds form, the heat must be released. So a 1 calorie of heat causes a relatively small change in the temperature of water, because much of the heat is used to disrupt the hydrogen bonds before the water molecules can actually begin moving faster. And when the temperature of water drops slightly, many new hydrogen bonds form, releasing considerable amount of energy in the form of heat. And what is the importance of high specific heat of water to life on earth? See, a very big water body, for example the ocean, river, they can absorb and store a large amount of heat from the sun in daytime and during summers, while warming up only a few degrees, that's it. And at night and during winters, the gradually cooling water can warm the air. This capacity of water serves to moderate the air temperature in coastal areas. And this is the high specific heat of water that tend to stabilize the temperature of ocean and create an environment that is favorable for marine life. Because of the high specific heat of water, the water inside our body, see, we are mostly made up of water, so our it's not that we go out in sun and we start boiling, because the specific heat of water is very high. Okay, so we can resist changes in our own temperature. Clear? Now see what happens. The water acts as a heat bank. It can absorb heat from air that is warm. So in the night and day, what happens? During the day, the land has very low specific heat, so it heats up very fast. See, the land has very low specific heat, so it heats up very fast and it makes the temperature rise very quickly. But if I say water in the sea, its specific heat is very high, so it don't heat up that much. Now the air on the land becomes warm and it starts moving toward the sea, while the cold air from the sea moves toward the land, resulting in sea breeze. Clear? And in the night, what happens? The land will become cooler. It has low specific heat, and water, its temperature don't change much. So land is cooler, the temperature of air here is cooler, the cool air flows toward water, and the warm air above sea water flows toward the land. Okay, so in the day cool sea breeze, in the night cool land breeze. Okay, so ocean is cooler as compared to land during the day. Now let's study about evaporative cooling. So what is evaporative cooling? Evaporative cooling. See, molecules of any liquid will stay close together because they are attracted to each other. When molecules start moving fast enough to overcome the attraction, they can depart from the liquid state and enter the air as a gas or vapor. So this transformation from liquid to gas is vaporization, or we can say evaporation. See, the speed of molecular movement vary and the temperature is average kinetic energy of molecules we know. Even at low temperature, there are some molecules which are speediest molecules. They can escape into the air. So the speediest molecules will go to the air even at very low temperature, can escape into air. Okay. So at any temperature, for example, if you keep the glass of water at room temperature, eventually all the water will evaporate. And when you heat the liquid, then the average kinetic energy of molecules increases and the liquid evaporates more rapidly. Clear? When the liquid is heated, what increases? Temperature increases. That is, average kinetic energy of molecules increase, and so evaporation is very rapid. Okay, now what is heat of vaporization? Quantity of heat a liquid must absorb from one So if I say what is heat of vaporization, quantity of heat a liquid must absorb for 1 gram of it to be converted from liquid to gas, liquid to gaseous state. So the amount of heat that a liquid absorbs for 1 gram of it to be converted from liquid to gaseous state. And water has a very high specific heat, so it also has a high heat of vaporization relative to other liquids. To evaporate 1 gram of water at 25 degrees centigrade, if I say 1 gram of water at 25 degrees centigrade, we need 580 calories of heat. Now if you have to evaporate 1 gram of alcohol or ammonia, half of this value is needed. Clear? So high heat of vaporization of water is also an emergent property resulting from strength of its hydrogen bonds. So why the water has high heat of vaporization? High heat of vaporization because of hydrogen bonds. So because of hydrogen bonds, water has high specific heat, high heat of vaporization. Clear? Now the amount of energy required to vaporize water has a wide range of effects. If I say on a global scale, it will help to moderate the Earth's climate. A considerable amount of solar heat is absorbed by the seas, tropical seas, and that is consumed during the evaporation of surface water. Then if I say moist tropical air circulate polewards, it releases heat as it condenses and forms rain. So now if I say at our level, organism level, our water's high heat of evaporation account for the severity of steam burn. You know that because of steam the burn is very severe, and this is because of the high heat. Clear? So the burns are caused by the heat energy that is released during the formation of hydrogen bonds when steam condenses into liquid on the skin. As a liquid evaporates, the surface of liquid that remains behind cools down. Its temperature decreases, and this is evaporative cooling that occurs because this is evaporative cooling. The hottest molecules with greatest kinetic energy are most likely to leave the gas. Clear? So the surface of liquid that remains behind cools down. If I say from a school, the fastest runners are transferred to the other school. Now the average speed of remaining students will decline. So evaporative cooling of water contributes to the stability of temperature in lakes and ponds, and also provides a mechanism that prevents the terrestrial organisms from overheating. For example, if I say evaporation of water from leaves of a plant, that will help in keeping the tissues in leaves from becoming too warm in the sunlight, and evaporation of sweat from human skin, that will help in heat loss and prevent overheating in hot weather, and when excess heat is generated by exercise or other activities, strenuous activities. Now high humidity on a hot day, that causes discomfort because high concentration of water vapor in the air, that will inhibit the evaporation of sweat from the body. So animal without sweat glands such as elephant, what they do, they spray water on themselves to cool down. When the elephant will spray water from its trunk on his head, so the molecules with greatest kinetic energy will leave the gas, making the remaining liquid cooler. Clear? So this much for today's lecture. Next we will study the floating of ice on liquid water. Thank you.